Guys, deluded YouTube's Lucas Torreira, Arsenal 5, PSG 1, our second game on our Singapore tour. And yeah, we took care of business and won the game, but initially it didn't look like it could go that way. So let's crack on. Going into the game, we know what's up. We played a couple of days ago against Atletico and we lost on penalties. This is another opportunity for players to put themselves either in the shop window for loans or permanent moves for the players that have a future here. It's their time to show to Unai Emery when they get a chance that they're ready to start. It's also a time for Unai Emery to mix the side, play a bunch of formations, play people in different positions and see what's up. Going into this game specifically, Mesut Ozil, El Nene and Iwobi, I believe, 3 players that obviously were participating at the World Cup, slightly behind. I don't even want to say behind, but in terms of preparation versus the collective group, we knew they were going to come into the side. Lacazette was dropped for Aubameyang through the middle, and it did look like 4-2-3-1. I mean, we've seen 4-3-3, we've seen... if we can call it a 4-1-4-1 of sorts. We've seen a couple form at 4-3-3. We've seen a couple things tried out by Unai Emery. So you'd like to probably think, this and between 4-3-3, maybe this is the formation the players, regardless of the manager, are more comfortable with. But that being said, I did think, and obviously I believe in the 12th minute, we lovely counter-attack. I can't remember who played the ball to Aubameyang, but he squared it. And Ozil slotted, and 12 minutes in, we hit them on the break. Because if I'm honest, before that 12 minutes, regardless of PSG, we hardly of their first teamers were there, to be nice. It was all great youngsters. We saw a lot of their youngsters, Okonkwo, Georgine, I can't say his name correctly, playing lovely little passes. Where the son of, you know who his dad is, making some excellent runs, and he's terrorising our defence. And they had both the lion's share of possession. And I did think, I was alarmed at we're playing 4 at the back. Arguably, you could say that was close to our starting lineup. I don't want to admit it, but you could say that. I don't necessarily agree, but you could. I was scared at times. I don't really think it applies to Mustafi as much, but at times, but definitely Socrates. How many times Weir was able to make space, was able to play on their last shoulder? Bellerin was guilty of it, and Kohler was definitely as well. And no disrespect to Weir, because he's a young prospect with a lot of potential and a lot of talent. You saw it today. He won a penalty against Kohler. But if we're unaware of players like him, when you're going against Sergio Aguero, which could be the case for the first game of the season, this could result in something way more peak than this. So he's unaware. They were getting in behind a lot. They were enjoying the lion's share of possession. Having said that, I can see us slightly, again, it's not evident yet, but slightly closing down people a bit more, slightly tucking in a bit more. Guedes tucked in for Bellerin when Bellerin had to mark a centre-half, for instance, out of possession. Obviously, you saw that under Wenger, but it's like there's more enthusiasm to get into these positions quickly, sort of thing. I did think Mkhitaryan was a bit behind the pace as well. Probably should have scored as well. Aubameyang obviously... did Aubameyang score today? He did score today, didn't he? I can't even remember at this point, man. Bare goals went in. But if he didn't, he had a couple opportunities that were sitters. Ramsey, when he came on, had that in the second half as well. Down the right, PSG were putting in some good balls and things like that. Rabiot, obviously disappointed not to go at the World Cup, was controlling things as well. So while I'm happy that we hit them on the break and stuff, I'm seeing a bit of sloppy play from Mustafi at times. Again, we're still playing in silly positions at the back. There's some stuff for us to be worried about, people, in my opinion. What else happened? I'm so sure there was a chance where Bellerin wasn't aware of his man, and it was incorrectly marked for offside against PSG, and it was a warning sign. I mean, this is pre-season. The result and the fixture, and if you beat them or we lose to them, we can't look into that. What we need to look into is the tactics, how we're implementing, and how people are shaping up. And you could say it's positive, and you could say it's negative. One guy, you guys know I know about him, and everyone went from Guedes who to now genius on Guedes. And it's early days. It's easy, again, as much as I like him, it's easy to play when you've got a lot of time on the ball in midfield. You want to see him against aggressive midfielders like City, where they don't want you to play, for instance. He showed his passing range. Could do better in the tackle, like I said, but you saw him clipping the ball over the top. You saw him linking up with Ozil, linking up with everyone. He was there to receive it off the centre-half. He was there to provide an option in midfield. He's a very good player, and he's just lacking a bit of experience, probably a bit more street smartness, probably wanted to be a bit better in the tackle, and we have a very decent player in him, and things like that. All of the youngsters came on that done quite well for me as well, to be fair with you. But yeah, Kohler showed, we know with Kohler he's good going forward. He put in a couple dangerous balls, but he's very concerning both one versus one and when he has to turn and things like that. And it did worry me. 22nd minute, Iwobi should have scored as well. It was a lovely team move by, I believe, him, him, Aubameyang and Ozil, and he did quite well to start it. He should have either got his head up or finished it. I will have to review it again because it was one of those where I did think, seeing it first time, I'm being a bit harsh on him with that. Obviously, like I said, there was an incident where a ball came over the top, I believe, from Gudezi for Aubameyang in a 20-something minute. He done all right to bring it down. He completely chopped his man, and unfortunately, Buffon was equal to a number of saves, which he was today. Some were quite easy for him to make. They were at him essentially. But yeah, Mkhitaryan as well, lovely touch and to sell a defender a dream. And he should have scored. So yeah, obviously second half, I will say this as well. It did take us a while to settle into this game. More so, it took us about 10 minutes or so to settle. And I would say the game was cagey, but it was still open at the same time. Obviously, we got into half time. I believe it's 1-0, but I can't remember at this point. Did the goals really even matter, people? Are you lot here for me to talk about the goals or to talk about proper things? That's why you're here, innit? Skip forward to the second half. Both teams obviously made a couple changes here and there. You saw in goal, you saw Lacazette come on, and you're asking Kola, why are you bringing down Timothy Ware? His son of George Ware. He was a constant threat for us the whole game with his runs, and if he can do that against Arsenal, he's going to have a good season, whether he's on loan or gets chances at PSG. He completely beats Kola. Kola, why are you sliding there? I get that sometimes you have no other option, but why are you doing that? It's a penalty. Can't remember who for PSG. I think it was a Okonkwo. I can't remember. He puts it in. It's 1-1, and it's looking long at this moment in time. Obviously, when Nelson, Emil Smith came on and a couple others, I was very impressed with Reece Nelson and Emil Smith. It took Emil Smith about 2 seconds to grab an assist, and Nelson was involved in the initial play that led to the move. Lacazette did very well to lose his marker and get to the far post, and it was 2-1 to us, instant impact of sorts. Holding was on the pitch at this point, and he kind of assisted Lacazette, if you could say that, being a constant threat in the box, headed it back. Lacazette scored, and it was 3-1 to us. I believe Reece Nelson got around 2 assists today. He definitely set up one of Holding's goals. I was very impressed with Reece Nelson and Emil Smith when they came on in patches. Same way I goes for Nketiah, Maitland-Niles as well, and obviously Gudezi. And if I'm Joe Willock, you probably want him to up it a bit compared to the others, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, it's 3-1 at this point. Holding's obviously it's 3-1. Ozil's obviously scored. Lacazette scored 2. Who else scored? I can't remember who scored the others. That's 3 of the goals. Holding scored a header, and Eddie Nketiah scored the 5th. A lovely slotted finish after being played in by Nelson. Like I said, they were lively. Nketiah deserved his goal today because he won some fouls. He was a nuisance. You could tell he's someone that wanted to play with something to prove. And I believe he can step up to the first team. I'm very wary on expectations because when you're talking about first team top striker at a top 6 club, you're mainly looking at 20 goals minimum. He's not that yet, but it remains to be seen if he can be that, or if he could be someone that chips into the squad, someone that's competent, someone that's a Welbeck-esque in the sense that he's definitely more clinical than Welbs and would definitely get more goals. But you see Welbs does stuff for the team. His strengths mainly lie with the team. He works the flanks well. A lot of what you see in Welbs can be seen loosely in Nketiah, so in my opinion. So you can't rule out what happens in that regards. But they put themselves in the shop window. For me, I was impressed with, like I said, how he was showing an adaptation towards his tactics. But I'm also very concerned defensively. Left back, because you're thinking, Kola, you're better going forward than you are defensively. You've got a lot of problems. Monreal's getting on a bit, and you never know what could happen. You're there 2 areas. I remember a lot of people were giving me stick for saying we need to address centre-half and specifically left back. Like I said, we was trying to hold the line and things like that, but I was a bit concerned how easy a couple of these PSG youngsters were able to make space for themselves and go unmarked and things like this, because this will make you pay against the likes of City, etc., etc. So yeah, like I said with Gudezi, he was excellent today as well. But as much as I love him, like I said at the beginning, you need to calm the expectations down, because there's going to be games, I don't know, City away. City's got some quality midfielders. You don't expect to have the ball. Them City players harass you out of the ball. Any midfielder can play when you've got time. I love Gudezi, but anyone can play when you've got time. It's when you've got no time. It's when you're being harassed. It's when you've got 3 midfielders here. It's when teams are setting up tactically to not allow your team to get out of their own half. That's when you see how good a player is. And as much as I like him, I believe he can cut the talent. He's definitely, like I said, he's definitely closer in the vid when he came. He's definitely closer to the first team than some people expect of him. But it's very early days. He needs to adapt to the league for himself. He probably needs to get a bit stronger. His position is very good, but he could work on that in a bit. And his tackling as well, because at times he will get silly bookings as well. And at times, 50-50, some 50-50s I do want him to win, and he doesn't win it and things like that. But I like how he covers as well, specifically how he was covering Bellerin at times. He's someone that wants to impress. So like I said, man, apart from the concerns defensively, it was nice that we got a run out. Obviously, it's nice that Lacazette, Ozil scored, Aubameyang got an assist. Obviously, the young G's in Nelson, Emil Smith, Reece Nelson put themselves in the window for Emery to trust them when the time comes. So yeah, we can't read too much into the game, but we did what we could. Not the strongest of the positions, but we did what we could. Regardless of friendlies or not, it's not nice to lose a game, and especially because we lost against Atletico. You didn't want it to go to penalties and go down that route, so it's nice that we won. I'm not too sure if we have another game in Singapore. I believe my gut is telling me we actually don't, and we actually fly back this week, and we've got a game on either Wednesday against Chelsea or something is it Dublin or Stockholm? I can't remember, man. We're doing too much commercial things this year. So yeah, I think City and Liverpool are playing in the International Cup or whatever tournament this technically is as well. But yeah, man, there's nothing more to say on that front, man. Guys, deluded. Enjoy the rest of your day. Get in the comments, like it for me, subscribe, do the rest. I'm out. Thank you for watching, man. Arsenal 5, PSG 1.